Hey folks, Kevin here. Well, it's May 29th, 2024. I'm out in the west garden plot. The winds are fairly calm today. It might kick up again in a couple of minutes. A couple of days ago we posted a video about a garden update, and we started off over here in the western garden plot, and it's the area that we have the most amount of work to do because we don't have weed mats down, we didn't have things mulched. We've been working in the other areas as well as other areas on the property. So today I decided to come over here and I tried to decide where there are still viable thornless blackberry plants. So we have Chester and Triple Crown over here. And then what I did do is I took the drip tapes, which we use for irrigation. So I've got them back here, I've got them laid back on the ground. I pulled out the pins, I pulled out the extra stakes, I pulled out the dead thornless blackberry plants, and then I used I weeded in throughout here, and then I used a little garden tilther to just stir up the surface, the top 3/4 of an inch of the surface of the soil in here. And this part of the area has lots of good nitrogen. There's lots of compost put in it. There's a little bit of compost put over here, and there's no compost over here. We ended up putting in this chain link kennel panels there last about a year ago. I think it was 1 year ago. This spring I moved these honeyberry plants, these hiscaps over here, but it used to be a wood chip border around here, just wood chips pretty deep. Down there is where I propagated all the gooseberries. Down in this area here, then I came through and deposited sand on top of the wood chips in here. So it's really devoid of any, there's minerals in here, of course, because of the wood chips and the sand here. But it isn't a good balance. It's not a good growing media for any of the plants that are in here. So after weeding it and then using the garden tilther, and the garden tilther is like this tiny little rototiller. I've made plenty of videos about it, and you can go like 1.5 inches deep, maybe even 2 inches, but I usually just go about 1/2 inch to 1 inch in this whole area, trying to mulch up the weed material that I had left here, because there was a lot of stuff but there's still roots in here as well. And then I took some ammonium sulfate. Now that's not organic, but it's it's not for certified organic gardens and all. But because we had sand and lots of wood chips in here, I thought I'd add that. That's going to acidify the soil some, and it's also going to be a high nitrogen component. Now the next thing I'm going to do is use some of the leaf mold that we turned from leaves that we got last fall into some pretty decent leaf mold, and I'll be putting that down on the surface all in through here. If we do have a couple extra thornless blackberry plants, I will go ahead and transplant those later potentially. I will tip root some of these thornless blackberry plants here as well, and I may use the planter bucket system as well potentially, but predominantly I'm going to be tip rooting to get more plants so I can get them all set. I had come through these vines had the canes had grown out into the main center here. When I weed whacked a couple of weeks ago, I destroyed a lot of the canes, the vines that were starting to set roots down because the weeds were up 1.5 feet high or so. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the green machine, because I think what I could do is deposit some of the leaf mold, reach up over it with the boom on the 860i, and that's the Avant 860i. It's the new machine, and then the rest of it I'll bring in with Mini-Me and shovel it in, get some more of it in here. Then I'll smooth it out some, and then maybe in a few days the paper. So what I did do is I ordered, since we ran out of cardboard, and it really takes a lot of cardboard to do all the sheet mulching that we do. So what I did do is I ordered online some paper product that's comparable to cardboard, but it comes in a big roll, and I think I got 150 foot lengths of roll, enough to do this section over here. So once we have the weeds knocked down like they are, now the roots are still in there because I didn't remove all the roots, they'll break down if I have this sheet mulch. In other words, the paper products on top of it, and then putting some of the double ground hardwood bark mulch. So the leaf mold has nutrients in it, lots of different nutrients in it. It has lots of biological life in it. The wood chips, the double ground hardwood bark mulch has lots of nutrients and minerals in it, but it's low in nitrogen, and that'll go on top of the cardboard that'll go on here. So hopefully that will suppress the weeds as well as the weed mats do, because eventually I'd like to get away from weed mats, but honestly it's so much easier if I've got a good system down. The sheet mulching only lasts so long, and then we have weeds again. So we'll try this and see how it works. We tried the living paths with the clover before, last year and the year before. Man, it just doesn't come back strong enough each year, unfortunately. That's why we sheet mulched the east garden plot where all the blueberry plants and the red raspberries are as well. So just giving you an update, letting you see where things are at this point. You saw the weeds the other day during the garden update. I thought I'd show you this point before we do the rest of it, me getting the leaf mold down and then getting the, now there'll be a couple days before we get the paper products in, and then it's the same thing of sheet mulching this whole area as well. So that's it. Here we go. So I got the green machine here, the Avant 860i. Not a very wide little access road. This is for getting the equipment in and out of the shop here. But having that boom on there really helps out with being able to deposit soil, or the leaf mold, whatever. I was able to come around from the outside and deposit some piles there. Much easier to rake out, much less shoveling. Really, really nice that I can do this. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. One more thing that this machine can do that my other machines cannot do. Okay, so this is how far I got today. It's almost dinner time. But I gotta say, the green machine, the new Avant 860i, being able to lift up the boom and extend it over and be able to deposit a lot of the soil right down here, the same thing around the margins all the way around. I only had to carry it to these two rows in here, which is absolutely great. So I was able to rake it all out, get all the sandy area, have it thicker over here. Got more organic material over in this area. And so we'll see how everything works. I got the drip tapes back down for now. I still have to rake up a lot of the rocks. In the leaf mold material that we broke down over the winter months there, there's still a lot of sticks, some pieces of plastic, like parts, little plastic, I think vases for flowers, that sort of thing, and still a lot of rocks because it's all gravel over there as well. So I've got to pick up more rocks and then I'll smooth it out again. Then I think just a little bit more weeding in here. It's not perfect, not great yet, certainly not perfect, but I'll be able to go ahead and lay down the new paper material and then get the, so you can see there's rocks down in here, get the double ground hardwood bark mulch on top of this. I think I've got enough in here for now. Over here we have lots of compost that was in here for years, so this is pretty darn good soil in here. Over here it gets to be more wood chips. There is compost in here as well. Then at the very edge, lots of wood chips with sand on top of it, where the hiscaps or hascaps or the honeyberries are located. So a lot more to do, but this, I feel I've come a long ways. If you go back and look at it, just 2 or 3 days ago when we did the garden update, you could see just how much weeds there were in here. And so I'm pretty happy with the progress, and honestly, that Avant 860i with a telescopic boom, being able to deposit over these chain links. So these are 6-foot panels. You look, that's downhill down there, and I had to drive through that swale to get up here with a pretty heavy load and all. Very stable, very good. So that's it for today's video, just a short one. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. And so you've just seen the steps of what we're doing. Take care and stay safe. Bye-bye now.